5, 4, 3, 2. From 1 to 100. This is a podcast where we talk about building your YouTube community from 1, that's you, to 100, so you can make a living doing what you love. On the show, we talk about how to build a business as a YouTube creator in the fashion economy. I'm your host, Heather Ramirez, and this is episode 10 of From 1 to 100. I really tried to do that without looking at my script. It's not even that complicated, but I don't know. So there you go. Hello, everybody. Happy July 13th, Tuesday. Today is going to be an interesting episode. I can't believe it's episode 10. Yay, double digits. So I'm excited. I'm seeing all the pre-show chat happening. It's so great to see all of you guys here. Today is going to be an interesting episode because it's definitely going to be a lot more live stream interactive. So sorry for you guys who check the audio version of this podcast. If you do just strictly listen to the audio, you're missing out on a whole different experience every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So definitely join us when you can. But today I'm excited because I'm going to hopefully I'm going to interview some of you guys. Right now I have 3 people lined up to do interviews. I would love to interview at least 2 other people. And it's got to be someone from my community. So, I mean, you guys know who you are. And I would love to get a female if possible because I have 3 dudes and I just kind of want to diversify a little bit. But you know what? It's fine if it's fine. It is what it is. So, all right. So let me back up, getting ahead of myself. Today is episode 10. And before we jump into it, I do want to tell you about episode 11 and episode 12 because I'm so excited. I have 2 rock star awesome guests lined up. The first is next Tuesday, July 20th. I'm going to have Marie Poulin, who is the Notion master on YouTube. And she is, I mean, I know I say this about every guest, but seriously, she is a perfect example of the passion economy. She has a YouTube channel that is all about this app called Notion, which is like a project management, task management, organizer app, which is awesome, by the way, if you haven't checked it out. That's actually how I found her because I was just like, I've heard about Notion. I want to learn how to use it. Did like what all of us do. And I went on YouTube and I was like, I need to watch tutorials on this. And she has, it's exactly what you would expect. Everything from live streams to tutorials to demos to breakdowns on Notion. And then she took it a step further and now has a whole community, an online course all about helping you use Notion to help you achieve your goals. So, I mean, that is niche product, passion economy business model through and through. And really, since I've been following her for, I want to say like a year and a half now, maybe 2 years is when I started thinking about Notion. I've been able to see how much her business has grown because of, everything that she's done. And it's really been because she has niched down into such a very specific product that literally it's like no one else, not even Notion, is offering this kind of resource. So definitely, if you are looking to implement something like that for your own YouTube channel or when I'm doing all this talking about passion economy stuff, she is one that you're going to want to tune into. So that's next Tuesday, July 20th. Very excited to have her. And you could totally check out her YouTube channel now and binge watch and then bring your questions. So that's the first thing. Second guest that I have coming up is on July 27th. So the week after Marie, we are going to have Gina Bianchini, who is the CEO of Mighty Networks. So excited to have her just because, I have yet to have someone who is coming from the tech side of the passion economy. I talk to you guys about this all the time, saying that, it's these tech startups, it's these economists, it's all these people who are developing the tools and really trying to study us as content creators, trying to study content or the creator economy, passion economy, all of that. And this is going to be someone who's leading the charge in developing a tool that is supposed to help us content creators be able to make a living and build a business out of creating content and, creating content online. Right. So I'm so excited to talk to her. She has been a huge influence in a lot of the themes that I talk about in this podcast. So it's just going to be such a pleasure to talk to her. I hope you guys can join me for that. So that'll be Tuesday, July 27th. So we got awesome stuff lined up. All right, so that's what we got. So for today, let's jump into today's episode. Today we're talking about interviews. And I mentioned this a little bit on the YouTube Huddle up, but the reason why I want to do a live stream of me interviewing my community is because I think that this is a hard part of being an entrepreneur, right? Of being, not just content creation, because I think of when we think of content creation, it is very much one-way communication, right? You make a YouTube video, people find your YouTube channel, and yes, you can do comments, but it's very much like the creator saying something to you. With the passion economy business model, I've said this many times, it is a two-way street, right? And a lot of the times when we talk about the business part of content creation, the business part is going to come from something that probably doesn't exist. It's just something that is so niche, just like, Marie, before Notion existed, how would she have known that she was going to end up creating an online course and, having a business around offering resources to help people use Notion? It's like you never know what the thing is that you are going to offer. And the best way to figure out what it is that you can offer at a premium price for your community is to talk to them directly, right? So that's what I'm going to do. But like I said, I know this part is hard. It's not... You do have to go out of your way to have these interviews, and it's just the thing that I feel like a lot of people dread. A lot of people assume that they think they know. Oh, I'm pretty sure that anyone who wants to start a YouTube channel struggles with these things, but you won't know until you actually talk to them. And here's the thing that a lot of us will struggle with is if you were offering something to help somebody else, right? So some kind of informational, tutorial, educational type content, what you end up struggling with is cursive knowledge. So you think you know because this is your world, but you are not, like, you're so caught up in it that you don't remember, or you don't know how someone who's at the starting line is describing the thing that it is that they're struggling with, because you have a whole different vocabulary based on your experience. And what you really need to do is speak the language of the people that you're trying to target. So that's number one, right? That's why we want to do interviews. But number two, getting to know the people that you're going to serve, like getting to know the people who are going to be in your, 1 to 100 community, will help you develop something that can really be of service. It's going to be really something that can be so transformational, so impactful, really is going to make a difference. And you can't do that without feedback, right? So yes, YouTube and Instagram and all these platforms will give you a bunch of analytics, but nothing will compare to a 15-minute conversation with an actual person, right? So that's why I'm doing a live stream. And the other thing is, I said that I want to be an example to you guys. So I came up with a list of questions. You will see how these interviews go. Here's one suggestion I will make, though. Don't do it as a live stream, because I was a science major in college. You don't want to affect your data, right? And here's what's going to happen. Ricky's going to be my first interview. Ben is the second one. Ben is going to hear what Ricky's going to say. And I'm pretty sure that this won't happen because I know Ricky and Ben enough. But you don't want your people that you're going to interview hear the answers of someone else that you're interviewing, because now you're influencing the data, right? And what you really want is for people to tell you in their own words, like what they're struggling with, right? So if you are trying to do the passion economy business model with your thing, here is my suggestion. I'm obviously going to interview my people with my questions about my thing, right? So it's going to be all people who are working on their own YouTube thing, because I'm taking the YouTube coach approach, right? So for your thing, write down the questions and then obviously cater it to whatever it is that your niche is around, right? and you'll be able to see, because I have no idea. Obviously these interviews are live, so I have no idea how they're going to go. But it's not about me, it's about them, right? So it's not about you, it's about your ideal member. And that's another thing. Like, obviously you don't want to just interview anybody. You want to interview, if you already have an existing community or an existing base of people that you know are in it, talk to them. And if you don't, right, because you're just starting out, then think about who it is that would be your ideal 100, right? Like, who is a member who would be in that ideal 100? Because whatever YouTube channel it is that you're creating, or whatever business it is that you're trying to start, or product or service that you're trying to create, you're obviously thinking about somebody, right? Like, you have somebody in mind. That's why you have the idea. Otherwise, if it was just like completely self-serving, like, why bother sharing, right? But you're putting yourself out there and you're building a whole brand, or at least that's your goal, because you want to make an impact. So you have someone in mind. So it might take you a little bit of like, oh, I have to reach out a little bit. That's always scary. But hey, I don't know, buy them a coffee in exchange or something like that. All right. Let's see. Okay, I think that's it. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to check in with the comments because I see that you guys are here. Hello, everybody. So I'm going to open up my interview room, and instead of having you guys just sit in the green room, just like, Ricky, you're going to go first. Ben, you're going to go second. I need a interview 3, and 4. Instead of like you waiting in the green room, if you want to wait there, you totally can. But just jump in once the other person is like wrapping up. Yeah, does that make sense? Okay, cool. So let me just check in with the comments really quick. Hello. Hello. Let's see. Dr. Sev is talking about how she has the Notion app on her phone from when Pat Flynn mentioned it several months ago. I've done nothing with it. Yeah, so Notion is hard to get into. It's like someone has to kind of explain it to you. It does take some time to like wrap your head around it. And because it's so robust, you have to kind of build your version of it for your life. But then once you do that, it's like I can't imagine ever using anything else because it's so catered to my thing. All right, cool. What's up? Eric's here, from Topia's here, John Paul, Ben, Invest with Fire, Josh, what's up? Okay, cool. All right, so John Paul said he started a YouTube channel from one of my interviews. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so here it is. If you are watching, I would love to interview you, because if you want to be interview number 3 and 4, that would be great. I would really appreciate what you have to say. You have to be someone in the community, and you have to be someone who is working on a YouTube channel, because I'm a YouTube coach. So that's where I'm coming from. All right, cool. I wrote down my questions before. Just going to refresh myself here. Let's see. Okay, cool. Here we go. Let me copy my link. All right, Ricky, you're up. Let's go. Let's go. Boop. Awesome. Cool. Dr. Sev. All right, you're number 3. Cool. Here he is. Okay, guys. You ready? Ricky. What's up? I can't hear you, man.
Oh,
wait.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
No?
We're good.
Delayed at all? Are we good?
Talk again.
Hi, my name is Ricky, and I'm from Filmtopia.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks good,
Okay.
everybody? Cool. What's up, man?
We're out here, man. We're out here. It is Tuesday, the greatest day of the week.
Got a premiere coming up tonight.
Yep. You would think Fridays or Saturdays or one of those days are the best days of the week. No, to me, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are where it's at. We have a Loki live stream tonight, and it's the finale. As you can tell, I'm dressed up. Was working on a little something right now, but I thought I'd pop in here and just vibe out with you.
Sweet, I
In the
appreciate it.
community.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you a few questions to help me better create something that serves people who are trying to build a YouTube channel in a passionate way. I don't know, that's the best way I can describe it, but in my approach, and I think you know what I'm talking about. So, I'd like to ask you a few questions. Here we go.
Let's hear 'em.
How would you describe what your goal is when it comes to what you want to do with YouTube?
Well, the way I would describe it actually starts with why I started it. And the reason why I started all of this was because I've had this urge, this passion, this just everything in my life has been influenced by movies. So essentially, what Filmtopia is a place for movie lovers and hopefully movie makers. If you love anything to do with movies, whether that's watching them, talking about them, or one day making them, then Filmtopia is the place for you. And so the way what's the question again? Sorry.
Like, what's your goal with YouTube?
So my goal with YouTube is honestly, I said this over on the Hive podcast, actually. Shout out to Jared Spink. I said Filmtopia is my love letter to movies. So what I want out of YouTube is a place to express this love, a place to gather other individuals that have this same sort of passion as me and have a place to connect, have a place to talk, have a place to teach, have a place to learn. And so honestly, like YouTube, while I'm very thankful for the platform. At the end of the day, like I'm essentially like on it for is to assemble fellow Filmtopians such as myself.
So you just said this, but why do you think that you need to use YouTube to achieve that goal? Like, what is it about
Uh,
YouTube that will allow you to do what you want to do?
yeah. So as far as like YouTube goes, right? I mean, you have other platforms such as Instagram, you have Facebook, you have Twitch. Twitch is, and especially like for me, right? You would think I'd be on Twitch because I stream a lot. But I think what drew me to YouTube is the fact that that's where I consumed the most. That's it's kind of like as if I went to go work for, or I went in to buy a franchise of like my favorite restaurant or my favorite fast food
Oh, I
place.
like that.
I would buy the one that I show up to the most.
Mm-hmm.
And YouTube is that for me. And plus, YouTube to me seems like just a place where it seems like it's really easy to use. The analytics are above par, above average. The community here seems very like if you're on YouTube, if a community or people are commenting stuff on YouTube, that means they really, really enjoy it or they really, really want to be there. Because on Instagram, it's like, you could quickly get over to Instagram, you can quickly get over to Twitter, press a like, get out, leave a comment, get out. But YouTube, to me, it seems more like a restaurant versus the other ones seem more like a fast food chain, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. I love that analogy. Let's see. So you're 6 months in ish, yeah?
So,
Six,
you know
7 months
what?
in.
So January 14th to July 14th. What's that? Is that
That's
6 or
$6.
7? Is
I think
that?
that's
Oh
six.
my God.
Yeah. So
Oh man.
tomorrow.
Yeah, so tomorrow is just the culmination of everything that's
Yeah,
happened.
I think that's six, right?
Yeah. Wait, is it? I don't know.
June, July. Yeah, six.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
insane.
that's six
That's
months. Yeah,
insane.
sweet.
Wow.
Okay, so you're on 6 months of doing YouTube.
Hmm.
Um, Also factoring in like your actual time on YouTube and then the time that you thought about it, but no, you didn't bite the bullet.
Hmm.
What do you think were three things that were holding you back?
Oh, that's I know that it was uh thinking of what other people thought of me. So like I would use the excuse of perfectionism. I would say, "Oh, it's not perfect, so I can't do it yet." But as Gary Vee so aptly always puts, and maybe very brashly says that that's just an excuse that you're scared of what people might think, or that's just an excuse you put for yourself when in reality you're not aiming for perfection. You just want something in your way to not maybe pursue it.
Yeah.
And can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Three things holding you back.
Okay,
from
so holding
YouTube.
me
Yep.
back. The other thing was not knowing exactly where I wanted to go with this. So initially, I wanted to be like Make Art Now. I wanted to be like Peter Lindgren. I wanted to be like Tom Buck, where I was just filmmaking. I was just gear. I was just these
Oh
things.
my God.
And
Okay. What a different channel that would have been.
yeah, but
That's crazy.
the funniest part is I just thought to myself, I'm like, because at the end of the day, right, what I want Filmtopia to where I want it to end up,
Yeah.
like where I want it to like really manifest is I want it to manifest in a feature film that plays across theaters everywhere in the world, whether that's the story of Filmtopia, whether that's, you know, someone helping us fund a feature film, or whether that's Marvel Studios saying, hey, take on Avengers 6. You know, at some point I want me and my fellow Filmtopians to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that to say that's where I got the idea for wanting to be a filmmaking channel. I wanted to kind of document my journey on the way to becoming a filmmaker. Um, but what I didn't realize was I was just there's no way I could make movies without talking about movies. And so when I realized that what I was really, really consuming on YouTube the most was movie commentary. So I just thought there's one thing on
Got
YouTube
it.
I haven't seen yet, and that is the combination of both movie commentary and filmmaking. While my filmmaking stuff on the channel hasn't been birthed yet, it's not there yet.
Yeah.
That's where I kind of want it to be because I'm going to do it in a way where it's still talking about movies. So, for example, when I show you a lighting video, it's going to be showing you how they lit this scene in
Mm-hmm.
Loki episode 2. And so,
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, a movie commentator watcher, like they're there for mainly the movie commentary, can still be able to watch a filmmaking tutorial because it's just that interesting, and vice versa for the movie commentary.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to say on that note is just James Cameron said this the best, and I'm gonna see if I can use this or license this or trademark this. But it's um, every filmmaker started off as a fan, um, and vice versa. Every fan also, you know, might have an
Right.
urge to become a filmmaker. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay. Um, what did you? How do I explain this? Was there anything that you did prior to this moment to help you with YouTube? Whether that's like you opened google.com and you started typing in some stuff about YouTube, or online courses or books or podcasts. I know you mentioned like people who inspire you,
yeah.
but was there something else?
So yeah, outside of like the more obvious things that can help one, such as, you know, the Hive podcast, such as, you know, the
Right.
couples tables, such as things like that on YouTube that I would consume and would motivate me. Um, I know that I would always run into some sort of excuse to not do it. What ended up happening was the pandemic really changed my mindset. They call it, you know, the Great Reset in a lot of ways,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say that for me, going through quarantine, going through the pandemic as locked down as I realized coming out of it, I needed to make some changes in my life. And one of those was don't save your best for tomorrow. Instead, give it your all today. Because I've always been the kind where I'm like, oh, I'm not going to write this script or put into action this script yet because I want to put this out when I'm at 100,000 subscribers or when this thing is able to be produced by a big studio. My advice is don't wait. Write what you got to write, make what you got to make, because tomorrow's not promised. The next whatever's around the corner, unfortunately. And so when that time comes, you want to maximize your time being in I guess if you want to call it like a more normal world. Um, and but the other thing, if you want a little more, one more tidbit, that is my friend Ulysses. Shout out to him. He's one of my best friends since middle school, and he was like, "Bro, listen, if you don't put out a video by January 15th, because I was going to start with the WandaVision streams, if you don't put something out by them, you got to shave your head." And I had never grown out my
Okay.
hair past my ears ever in my life. And just something within that, I was like, man, you know what? I got to come through. I'm always 75% of the way on something. I got to see this through. I got to do this. So,
Got it. Okay. Um, Let me see if I can ask this in one question. What is something in your YouTube process that you can no longer live without? That you like, you would not, because you have momentum, right? And I think that
Yeah.
that's undeniable. So what do you think is part of your process where if it were to disappear, you'd be like, oh goodness?
Community. That's it.
Okay.
Community. It would be like, while it's not, while the channel isn't exclusively live streams, even though almost everything I make is live
Right.
streams. um what the point of it is, like, the point of Filmtopia is for it to be this hub of all things movies. So just lately, and a lot has been through the vein of live streaming. And within that, I found a community that is just absolutely incredible. My staff topians, like my fellow castmates that you see on screen at times, that also help me out with the Discord and help me out with other aspects of YouTube. Couldn't live without them either. But at the end of the day, I put them with my community. So community is my biggest motivator. It's my biggest inspiration. It's the reason why in the morning, when I don't want to do Filmtopia Live number 9, and it's a few minutes before, and I don't know, maybe I'm still in bed, it gets me out of bed because I'm like, I can't fail
Yeah.
them. I got to show up for them. And at the end of the day, like, they're they're there to watch you, so why not be excited to see them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Last question is, what do you think you need, or what is a piece of the puzzle that maybe you're still trying to figure out to help you get to the next level?
Oh, that's a great question. I would say the piece to the puzzle right now that I don't have too much knowledge on, per se, is like the more analytical side.
Okay.
And maybe this is a good thing, because this definitely,
Yeah,
I've
you can
taken
get
this from
lost in
you and your
that.
yeah, I've taken this from you and your community, where I swear to you, all of you in the chat, I have not, like, really, I've never stressed out once about any analytics on my channel. Not once. If the opposite, I'm excited about if one person sees it, or if two people see it, or if 13,000 people see it. Like, to me, the fact that someone stops in, says hello, or watches it, gives it a thumbs up, no matter the case, it makes me feel like I was able to brighten their day by like 1%. And so that's the thing. And so, but if I really wanted to, I guess, get to that next level, I'd watch Tom Buck's thumbnail video, and I, I'd look more into the analytical side. But for me, what's the more important thing, like, especially for the first 1,000 Filmtopians that we
Yeah.
assemble, like, I don't want, so for example, this is something I don't know, but I have like a personal Instagram, and those are all people from high school, from
Yeah.
college, from
Personal contacts.
that side of my life. And I haven't talked to them much, and to be honest, they might think I'm off the face of they think I'm on like a space exploration, because I haven't posted anything over there. But to wrap that up, I haven't told anybody over there outside of Ulysses and like my 3 right hand
That was
men.
like me. Yeah. I didn't tell anybody.
Didn't tell anybody. So everything you see on Filmtopia is purely off of the magic of the internet, and it
I love
continues to
that.
blow my mind. I really, really cannot wait to see where all this goes. And the last thing, one of the things I wanted to add to one of the questions earlier was, find your multiple streams of motivation, because when one motivation fails, you will then another one will kick in. So for example, I have the motivation to put my mom in a house one day, and all that good stuff, and that's a long-term motivation. Like, that's never going away, that's embedded in my body. But then I also have a motivation of, like, you know what, today I want to drink 5 water bottles. So, like, I have different streams, different types of motivation, and when one fails, I just latch onto the next one, and then I probably create another one later.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. All right, dude. Thanks for the input. I appreciate it. There are some people who had follow-up questions with you in the
Okay.
chat, so feel free to jump in
I
and
will.
hang out.
Yeah, no, thank you, Heather, so much for everything, for all the support, and I love what you do. I love what you do, and I'll be
Hey,
here,
same here,
you know,
man.
for the
And
long run.
we're so excited. I'll tune in tonight. I don't know if I can stay up for the actual premiere or the
to
finale, but I'll watch the pre-show.
Listen, we start at 10, so if you want to stop by, we'll be there. If not, the replay will be there. But at the end of the day, it's so much fun. It's so much fun, and I'm glad everybody else is having fun. So,
Sweet. All right, Ricky, you take care.
all right, see ya.
Thanks. Bye.
Peace.
All right, guys. So awesome. Thank you so much, Ricky, for that. My next guest is Ben. But before I jump in, I just wanted to peek into the comments. I actually just thought of something. So, Dr. Sev, if you're still here, I would love for you to be my third interview. So just scroll up in the chat and you can find the link. Then I was like, you know what? I should interview someone who isn't in the community. So if you are not on the ShareSpark scoreboard, like John Paul Brightman, I saw How Do We Sign Up for Interviews? You are new to me. I'm happy to interview you because I also want to talk to people who are not part of the community to get that side of it. And I think there was someone else too, like Zen Kanoke ASMR, you're relatively new. El Jefe Reviews, I see you peek in every now and then. Alec Johnson, it's up to you guys. No pressure. So if you just tuned in, I'm basically trying to get data to help me better create something that could help people take their YouTube channel to the next level in terms of the using the passion economy business model, which you don't need to know as an interviewee. I just need to talk to you about your YouTube journey. So, but just to contextualize it in this episode. All right, here we go. Next interview. Boop. And that's me. Here we go. Ben, what's up, man? You're muted.
Hey, Heather, how's it going?
No, there he is. Cool. No, you're here. You're here. I hear you. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thank you so much for opening this up. This is a really cool idea. I didn't know what you were kind of planning at first, and then just like hearing as you were talking about using this as an example, I was like, oh, sweet. Love it.
Yeah. And I am so excited to talk to you. You were definitely someone I was thinking of that I was like, oh, I hope he is free. So, because not only do you have your own YouTube channel, but you talk to creators all the time. So, but don't,
Yes.
yeah. So anyway, here we go. We'll jump in. Ben, how would you describe what your goal is? And we'll talk in terms of the Ben Tolson channel. Yeah.
Sure.
How would you describe what your goal is on YouTube? Like, why do you have a YouTube channel? What do you want to do with it?
Yeah. I want to make friends, have a good time, and make a little bit of money on the side.
I love
So
that.
I rehearsed that. I rehearsed that beforehand, but I'll say just to kind of clarify, basically like those three things. I love the channel as an outlet for sharing my creativity and, you know, sharing some of the artistic projects I'm working on or some of the entertaining things I'm trying to do. But I also want it to be a place that's helpful and useful for people. And so that's kind of the underlying thing is I love helping people and I love making connections with people. And so I feel like my channel is a place where I get to do that and, you know, hopefully figure out the business side of that so that that can provide some kind of meaningful side income to supplement what I do full time. So,
Yeah. What, um, why YouTube? Why do you think that YouTube is the thing that you need to use in order to do what you want to do?
I think it's unmatched in terms of its, as a video platform. I love video as a medium for expressing myself and for sharing and helping, sharing things with people and helping people. And so I feel like YouTube just doesn't have a competitor out there in terms of what it's capable of doing, the way it's capable of getting content in front of people, and the tools that it has for understanding how people are interacting with your content and how your audience is growing and that kind of thing. So, and you know, I have a little bit of a sweet spot in my heart, I think, for YouTube, just because of the ways that it has enriched my life and the relationships I've been able to build on it. So those are, I think, the reasons YouTube is my number one choice.
Yeah. What are 3 things that have either held you back from YouTube or are holding you back currently from like getting to your goal with YouTube?
Before I launched into, I have these, like, if you look back at my channel, you see kind of stretches of time when I was publishing and then like a gap of time that I wasn't. And so I have these like relaunches.
Yeah.
So before my most recent relaunch, I sat down and had some conversations. And one of the major things that I uncovered was this idea that when in my circumstances something disrupts my process, I have a hard time anticipating that and adjusting for it. And that has kind of taken me out every time. So that's one thing, is just not being prepared and not, and that's kind of happening to me already this summer. Like, we went from all the kids in school and like a bunch of extra free time to now all the kids are home. And so that disruption, I just didn't plan ahead for. And so it's kind of like taken me a little bit of time to get back up to speed. The question that I'm always asking, like, why can't I just do all of the things? And I have this fear that if I don't focus, I'm not going to grow and I'm not going to be able to reach people the way that I want to. So I'm constantly like battling with myself, and that makes me second guess the kinds of things that I should be posting and whether or not I should publish that piece of content and that kind of thing. And then the third thing really is just, figuring out, really trying to figure out my schedule and my time, just because I've got other responsibilities and commitments. And so like trying to figure out where being consistent on YouTube fits into my life has just been an ongoing struggle. So those are probably top 3.
I was smiling because it's like literally if you interviewed me, it'd be the exact same stuff.
Yeah.
Like word for word. Okay, so let's see. I was gonna ask like what have you done so far, but I know. Oh, maybe I don't know. So I know Podia, but like, what have you done to kind of get a handle on what you can do on YouTube, whether it's like online courses or podcasts or other YouTube channels that any other resources or maybe stuff that you Googled to try to figure out YouTube?
Yeah.
I know you talk to people all the time, but
the thing that I'm learning, that I'm continuing to learn, is how powerful building a network can be. You have kind of what I consider your baseline activity. Like, you want to be publishing consistently. You want to be sharing things that are relevant, entertaining, interesting, or helpful. And those are kind of like your baseline. Like, that has to be happening. You want your quality to be up to a certain level, depending on the theme of your channel or whatever. Outside of that, getting involved in the comments and really trying to build community with the people who are following you, and also like making connections with other YouTubers, and kind of being like I am here right now, like trying to be present in the work that other people are doing too, and still like, being helpful and offering advice or experience or thoughts or whatever. So that, I feel like that's the biggest lesson I'm still learning, and I can attribute to probably the most meaningful growth I've seen on my channel.
what do you think you need to get to the next level? What do you think, what's a puzzle piece that you're working on? What's something that you feel like is missing? And if you had, it would like, really help.
So this is probably like, I'm in this weird, what I feel like is this kind of weird limbo place where, like, at a certain level, it makes financial sense to hire a coach. I feel like a coach would make a big difference. But before you reach a certain point, it's not really like
Yeah.
financially viable. And so what I kind of need to figure out right now at the place where I am, and I think really for any creator below like 750 to 1,000 subscribers, um, finding some kind of like middle ground. So there's like, you can go and you can do your own YouTube research and you can kind of find your own solutions to the problems you're experiencing. And then on the other side, you've got coaching, which is like really targeted advice specific to the circumstances that you're in. But there are a lot of things in between, like a mastermind group like you and Tom run, things like that that solve kind of that limbo issue. So that's something that I'm kind of looking into right now, where it's more affordable, but it still like reaches way beyond what you're able to figure out for
From like YouTube
yourself on your
tutorials.
own.
Yeah, totally. All right. Those are all my questions. Ben, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate your
Yeah, thank
feedback.
you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah. All right. You take care, Ben.
All right, see you.
Bye. All right. Look at this. I am so excited about all the data I'm getting. Okay, we got people in the green room. Let's see. Okay. Dr. Seb, I'll have you go next. I have someone in the green room, and I think that this is John. Let's see. John Paul, I think. This will be exciting because I don't really know who you are. Here we go. Ready? Hi. 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 I can't hear you. Is that me? You should be there. Are you... Let's see. How do I, like, unmute you? I still can't hear you. Oh, no. Oh, we got frozen. Oh, we lost him. All right. I think that was John. Oh, is John coming back? There he is.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm staring at a ceiling, I think.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay. Hi.
Can you hear me now? Yeah,
Yes.
how you doing?
Are you John Paul Brandman?
I am.
Okay, cool. Thank you for joining me today. It's good to meet you.
Thank you too. It's great to meet you too.
So I don't know if you caught the first part of this. I am just trying to interview people who are working on building a YouTube channel to see what it is that they are struggling with and to try to gain insight on being able to create something to help you, like a solution. Does that make sense? Hello.
No, definitely, yeah. Hi, dude, that's my little guy. That's partially why I think my audio is acting up. No, I definitely did catch that.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I wanted to join today was because I actually caught your interview with Dan C. Bearded.
Yeah.
About a week ago.
Yeah.
And I actually was inspired by him. Well, to get started, like I started it because of your interview, but I've always like kind of dreamed of doing YouTube.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so I'm so excited. So you don't have a YouTube channel yet?
Well, I do. I just started it last week.
Got it. Okay. So, you are in the beginning phases, very exciting time. I'm very excited for you. What do you want to do? Like, what's your goal? You are fresh in this. So, like, what do you want to achieve with YouTube?
So, when I originally wanted to start it, it was about beards.
Yeah.
But I really didn't have a lot of information, to be honest, and I didn't know how to go about it. And then, life kind of took over. I created the page, but never did with it. It just sat there dormant. And then I started watching Dan's streams. I got hooked up with him because he popped up on my YouTube feed one day,
Yeah.
and I was just hooked. Like I realized, man, this is something I could do. Like I love talking to people. I love community. I love communication. I even majored it in college, so it was something that I definitely like loved. And so it just clicked for me. Like I said, when I saw your interview with him, I was like, you know what, John? It's time to rip off the band-aid. Just do
Yeah,
it,
just go, dude. Yeah, totally.
I
Oh,
am
how
a
excited.
stay-at-home dad,
Yeah.
and I even talked about that in my first video, like kind of like an introduction of me. I didn't even talk about what I was. I just kind of roughly talked about my goals, but I kind of just wanted to like bare my soul to everyone.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, cool. Um,
And so, yeah.
yeah. What do you think is the most confusing part about YouTube? Like what's the thing that you're like, I'm not you feel like you need to know more of when it comes to YouTube?
Yeah, I definitely would say the uploading part was the difficult at first
Okay.
because I really didn't have like a program. I was basically using Adobe Premium Rush. I'm not too sure if you're familiar with that program.
Yeah, it's a good one.
The
Do you hear
free
me?
trial, I
Yeah.
was able to upload. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was able to upload my first video very easily, but then after that, I didn't have the ability to upload after that. I needed to upgrade, so didn't have the funds and things like that.
Yeah, okay.
So thankfully, I was able to do the free trial and talk to a friend of mine. Okay, listen, I think this would be really important for me. It's
Yeah.
hard, like I said, being a stay-at-home dad. I didn't have the funds, but he was willing to help me pay for the first year.
Okay,
So now
great.
I'm able to kind of like edit better and upload. And so it's really been a real like groundbreaking for me.
Yeah. Awesome. But that's a good program to have in your pocket. So good. Um, let's see. What um let's see. How do I explain this? What do you think that would be your let's see. I was going to ask like what do you think you need? I mean, I guess so. Like do you think that you need anything else to do what
Mm.
you want to do? I mean, I'm sure
Yeah,
first of all,
definitely.
I'm like 5 years into this and I'm still
No,
asking myself
definitely.
that
Yeah.
question. But yeah, like for where you are, what do you think you
hmm
need?
Well, so I definitely know I need to invest in getting a microphone. Currently, I use my Beats
Yeah.
as my microphone, and that doesn't. um, a lot of the times, like my 1-year-old son comes out in the videos because I didn't have the program. So like the first couple videos, I'm apologizing, like, hey guys, it's not easy being a stay-at-home dad,
Right.
but I felt like that important to include because it was like at the
It's
same
part of
time,
it.
who knows if there's another dad watching,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I just feel like that would be a good way to kind of start it, like to be transparent.
Yeah.
But now that I have that, I definitely would like to get a microphone to sound a little clearer.
Yeah.
Definitely would love to start like maybe finding a way to soundproof certain things.
Look at
But
you.
as that comes along, but I'm just taking it one day at a time,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah,
trying to do
totally.
whatever I can with what I have.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, I love that you have that mindset because I really think that's what sets a lot of people apart when they're like just starting out. It's like work with what you got. And I mean,
hmm
it'll actually take you surprisingly far. So I'm excited. Thank you for joining me. And thanks for the input. I really appreciate it, John. It was good to meet you.
Thank you too. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Take care. Bye. Well, that was fun. Great. I love meeting new people. Okay, guys. So we got 2 more interviews. And, babe, I told you you didn't have to jump into the green room until later. I got to do Dr. Sev first, and then I'll do Tom. All right, here we go. Dr. Sev. Ooh, hold on. Hey, Sev.
I
Wait,
hope I'm doing this correctly because I'm using my computer as my mic. I don't have a microphone. So hopefully you can hear me.
There's a little bit of a delay, but
can you hear me?
I can hear you, and it sounds great. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Okay, so, Dr. Sev, I'm not sure if you caught the first part of this stream, but basically what I'm trying to do is I'm interviewing people who are in and not yet in this community to see if I can get better insight on developing a solution that helps people who are working on their YouTube channels. And you have been a client. You are part of our mastermind. You're part of the community. So thank you, first of all, for trusting us to help you on your YouTube journey. But then also, I want people who are working on their own make a living on YouTube to be able to look at this as an example of how they can reach out to their ideal audience and community members to get data for their thing that they're working on. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Sweet. Okay. Dr. Sev, here we go. We're going to launch into the questions. How would you describe what your goal is on YouTube? What is it that you want to achieve?
Well, for me, it may sound a little bit altruistic, but I want to educate people on personal finance. I want them to understand that personal finance is not a monster, that it is something that you can take bite-sized pieces and learn what you need to, and help yourself and your family and generations to come. Personal finance has been made into this hooky spooky thing. Yeah. And my goal is to break it down, to make it friendly, relatable, and people are learning at the same time. Yeah. And of course I want to make some money.
Yeah, of course, totally. And I love that you believe that YouTube can help you do that. I mean, that there's a lot of people who would never think that. So I really appreciate you having that perspective. Okay.
Yeah.
Why YouTube? Because especially what you do, your whole industry is traditionally offline. So what do you think that YouTube is going to help you do that no other tool can?
I think YouTube is going to give me the visibility because I want to go beyond YouTube. I want to go beyond the confines of the internet. And I think the know, like, and trust factor is huge in personal finance, because you're talking about people's money, people's livelihood, and building a community on YouTube and people seeing you, hearing you week after week, talking about these things. I think it builds the trust factor. And so that's one of the reasons for YouTube. And I also do podcasts, but I think YouTube, you're seeing a face, you're seeing the person. And I think that brings a little bit more, makes it a little bit more relational. Yeah. I think.
Yeah. So I think we first connected like a year ago at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was about September or so of last year.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Somewhere on there.
Okay. So, so you have been at this for a while. How actually, do you know how long it's been that you've been on YouTube?
My first video that I uploaded was in May of last year.
Okay, great.
And actually, when I did it, I used StreamYard, and for 3 minutes, I was not in the stream because I did not know to put myself in the stream. It's still out there on Facebook somewhere with 3 minutes of me talking and not in the stream.
I love it.
I edited it for YouTube.
Oh, nice. Hey, it happens to the best of us. Okay, so it's been over a year.
Yeah, it's been a little bit over a year, yes.
Yeah. So let's see. I'm wondering if you can give me a perspective of like where you are now, but then also when you were starting, in terms of what were things that you felt were holding you back. So you have experience now, so you can be like, okay, when I was 3 months in, this is the thing that was top of mind, keeping me up at night. and you can reflect and look back on that. But then also I'd love to know what it is that you feel is holding you back now.
Yeah, for me, it's first my age, because when I started YouTube, I was 57 years old or going into 58 or something.
Yeah.
And so for me to learn if I need to learn technology, I will, but I have so many other competing priorities that learning technology was not top of the mind.
Yeah.
So I was a bit intimidated by that. And then I thought, well, my appearance, because when I see all of the other personal finance folks, they're young and, all of that. And I'm like, okay, here I am in my 50s. What am I doing?
Yeah.
And then I thought also I thought my accent would get in the way of me doing YouTube. But then after I started, I started actually with live streams, and that's 99% of what I do. When I'm in my live stream, I'm in my element because I'm talking about something I'm passionate about. So all of those reservations just go out the window.
Yeah. You don't even think about it when you're on. Yeah.
I don't even think about it. When I'm done, though, then I start over analyzing.
Yeah.
Did I say what I needed to say and all that? But when I'm in the stream, it's like I'm just flowing.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's see. What have you done in the past year to help you navigate YouTube, figure out YouTube, to kind of just like level up your skills, all of those things?
Well, apart from having a consultation with you and joining the mastermind, I also do a lot of research on YouTube. Like if I want to learn certain things, I go on YouTube. And which is why I love YouTube, because you have a library of things that you can create and that other people create that you can pull from. And then I also use, some of the tools like Morning Fame and TubeBuddy to try to help me to put out a better video. And I'm still struggling with thumbnails, but I'm working on it. I got Canva and I watch your videos to try to help me figure out how I can maximize Canva. But those are the things that I do. I try to use the tools that are up there. And then I also join a couple of Facebook groups and, ask questions. Hey, I'm having problems with this. What do you think? And so we're always bouncing ideas off each other.
Great. Awesome. Okay. So let's talk about today. What is the piece that you feel like is missing? What's the thing that's been keeping you up at night? What's the thing that you feel like, man, if I could just figure this out, I can, get to the next level?
Yeah. Despite the fact that I have Morning Fame and TubeBuddy, I still have no clue how to take advantage of my analytics. And this is something that I should be good at because accounting is my background. And I work in numbers. But I just don't. Every time I go to look, I'm like, okay.
You're like, what the heck? Yeah.
Okay. I have 5 minutes. I don't have time to look at it. But I think using the leverage, because there are times when I've done a couple of shorts and they've taken off. And for me, taken off is having over 200 views.
Yeah.
And they've taken off, but I don't know how to maximize that. I don't know how to go in and look at, the data to be able to maximize it. Yeah. And the other thing too is trying to really niche down to understand what will bring the audience that I need, because there's a lot of information out there on personal finance, but there are people who are struggling. It's still a big deal. And so I want to be able, my struggle is, what is it? How can I reach them? What subjects will bring people in so they can really start maybe listening to the library of content that I have and learning maybe about debt or credit or savings or whatever. That's the thing that I struggle with right now, is how can I reach people to let them realize the simplicity, or even if they're intimidated, it's okay. But I can make it less intimidating for you. So trying to get to people with that way, and then also the analytics. I think those two things will help the channel grow a little bit faster.
Got it. I love that. Well, that's it. Those are all my questions. So
Okay.
thanks, Sev. I appreciate your input. I appreciate your perspective, and just thanks for being here.
You are very welcome.
All right, I'll
Bye.
talk to you soon, Sev. Bye. Wow, that was so helpful. Okay, guys, so we're gonna do 2 more interviews. We have one more. I'm excited to talk to you because I have not met you, but I've seen you in streams and stuff. Sorry, Tom, we have one more person, and then I'll get to you. All right, El Jefe Reviews. What's
how
up,
are you
man?
doing?
It's good to meet
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you fine. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Likewise, great to meet you too. I've been watching your content for a while. Tom as well. Absolutely love Tom. Absolutely love your content as well. There's so much value. So I am definitely honored and like blessed to meet you.
Oh, that's so nice. So, can you give me like, who are you? What do you do on YouTube? How long have you been doing YouTube? Kind of give me your backstory a little bit.
Sure. So obviously my name is Jeff and known as El Jefe Reviews. I've been doing this for a little bit over 4 years on YouTube.
Great.
Doing a tech product review channel. I niched heavily into audio reproduction, specifically headphones and true wireless earbuds, so personal audio. Doing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so doing pretty well. Definitely niched into that and taking it and running with it. Try to establish myself as a go-to person in the space, and I have been successful in doing that. Aside from that, building a great community with creators and my subscribers and my viewers, and then also as a side note, that's also opened up an opportunity to where now I work as an employee of vidIQ. I work directly with vidIQ,
very
speaking
cool.
to other creators as well. So
Sweet.
yeah, it's been an interesting journey so far.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, all right. So here's for my next question, but I'm going to frame it differently because you are who you are. So you've been at this for 4 years. But I think what I would love to know is, being that you are a creator yourself and you talk to a lot of creators all the time, what do you think is something that is a piece that people are missing, or something that they're still trying to figure out? Being, okay, you're your 3rd year, 4th year, 5th year and beyond on YouTube, you've done your first 100 videos, you're on a different level than someone who's just starting out. What do you think is their thing that they're struggling, or what do you think that you are trying to figure out to help you get to another level?
I think more than anything, it's something that I think I've been focusing on over the past year, has been mostly focusing much more on the viewer experience. How can I improve the viewer's experience? So that means I'm doing a bit more research on watching other videos, the ones that I enjoy watching, and what is that creator doing that's helping them blow up? What are they doing that keeps me engaged, that keeps me from clicking away to the next video? And really kind of harnessing that in and really studying that aspect of it. How can I improve this for the viewer? And on top of that, using other examples of channels that are doing very well at this, but also looking at my own analytics, looking at my own retention graphs and seeing where dips are in attention, and how I can either move things around or re-engineer my own videos, and testing it. Basically, every single video that I put out is a test of something. And whether it's the way that I deliver a message, the things that I say or don't say, the energy that I bring to a particular topic. So it's all about experimentation. But I think for me, mostly right now, it's heavily focused on, I think I have my viewer, my avatar identified, but mostly how can I improve that viewer experience for them to make it not only educational, but also entertaining.
Yeah, I love that. What do you think that people, or is this something that you struggled with, monetization?
A bit, I think somewhat. I mean, I was part of the program, and then I got kicked out because they changed the rules. It was before they had implemented the 1,000 or 1,000 subs, 4,000 watch hours. Yeah. So I had got kicked out. But the beauty of it was that the information was out there, and I was able to monetize outside of YouTube prior to being brought back into the partner program, because I was getting views before 1,000 subs. So even though AdSense wasn't paying me, I was already, I think I was around 500, 600 subs, and I was already getting like 200, $300 from like Amazon affiliates and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was already monetizing that way. But I think the issue is that there is a knowledge gap. And I wasn't aware of it. Thankfully, somebody had pointed it out to me, like, hey, you really need to watch Roberto Blake's video on this, or, you know, Nick Nimmin, or whoever it was.
Yeah.
And to really start realizing that there's so much more to this if you want to monetize. I think that's really what it is, just that I didn't have the knowledge. But once I gained it, I ran with it. But I think that's something that we need to really teach more creators out there, that if they would like to earn money on it, that it isn't all about AdSense. That there's way more, like, you know, what's the phrase? There's many ways, more than one way to skin a cat. There's a lot of ways of doing this.
Yeah. Okay. So I know you kind of touched on this already, but if there's something else, let me know. What is the thing that's like keeping you up at night? What's the one thing that you feel like you're missing right now?
Being more entertaining, being funnier, letting more of my sense of humor out. I think that's more of what kind of holds me back a little bit. But I'm trying to improve it. I'm trying to get more natural. I'm trying to bring, because I've had people tell me that the personality on my live streams is very different than the personality in my videos.
I hear that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to find a way of like bringing a bit more humor into the videos, and it's been working pretty well. I just need to be more consistent about that.
Yeah. All right, Jeff, thank you so much for jumping on, and sharing your perspective and insights with me. I really appreciate it. And it was good to meet you.
Yeah, no, likewise. And it's actually thanks to you for having me on. And it was a blessing to be here and chat with you. And I'll be down in the chat as usual.
Sweet. Okay, cool. Thanks a lot.
See ya.
Bye. All right, guys, we are down to our last interview. I hope you guys have been finding this helpful. And before I bring on my last very special guest, I do just want to remind you that I really encourage you that if you're trying to figure out how you can make a living off of YouTube, there's so many resources to help you figure out the YouTube part, but I think the business part, what service or product that you're going to offer, especially the whole like premium pricing thing that I talk about here on this specific podcast, I really do think it's going to take a conversation with the people who are your ideal community member or your ideal customer, your ideal client. I mean, I can't tell you how helpful this is. And it's so great that, just jump on a Zoom call, 15 minutes with someone. And I promise you will learn something that you didn't realize you didn't know. All right, cool. So let's jump in with the one and only. There he.
Oh, I'm so excited. Sorry. You and I never get to talk on live stream, so this is exciting.
Yeah. Wait, is it me? I didn't restart my computer for the stream. Is there a lag?
Oh, there is a lag. Well, it sounds like there's a lag, but I don't know.
Electrician. Sorry, I'm checking my calendar. Okay.
Well,
is there a lag? I think it's fine. Okay, whatever. We're going to go with it.
Anyway.
Hi, Tom. I never call you Tom. I don't call Tom Tom. I call him
I'll just
babe.
talk. Okay. Hi, Heather.
Hi, how are you? This is so
I'm good.
weird.
I'm glad that this train wreck can come at the end of what is really good.
Why
interviews,
is there a lag?
and everybody is awesome. You can just kick me off. Who cares? I don't need to be on this. People hear me talk all the time.
Stop. Are you kidding? You know what? I have a better idea. Why don't you come in here? Is that
I'll
what
do
you're
that.
gonna
I'll be
do?
right there.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right, guys. Here. This is. I don't think we've done this on. Oh, this is gonna be cool. I'm actually gonna leave his. I left your studio open.
No.
There he is. We'll pull up a chair, babe. Here we go.
All right.
Okay. Here we go.
Oh boy, what a commute.
Okay. So wait. Go on this side. Yeah, because we got the mic situation. We're gonna rearrange here. Here we
That's
go.
fine. This is
Okay,
good.
how's this? All
it's
right.
good. It's fine.
So, what'd you think so far?
Well, it was really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was great to hear from everybody and all these different perspectives and different experience and stuff. Plus, I learned that Jeff and I have almost the same YouTube birthday.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so I know that you are my business partner and you are going to help me Wait, close that.
There. It was set on Zoom for some reason.
Can you guys hear me now? Wait, let's turn that off. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, everything disappeared.
It's okay. I got it.
Wow.
We're just.
What a
did you?
mess.
So hold on. Let's.
It should come back. I think it's just the delay there. There. See,
Are we? We're back. Yeah. Okay, cool. What did you guys miss? I don't know. Whatever.
It doesn't matter. It wasn't anything important.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything. So here we go. Okay. So what I did say though was that Tom is my business partner. We're obviously working on this stuff together, but he is a YouTube creator himself, and I think that by framing it in these questions, we will be able to uncover some insights.
Sure.
Maybe. Okay, here we go. Ready? Tom.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe what your goal is when it comes to what you want to achieve on YouTube?
Oh, that's a good one. My goal is to be able to make a living, like a decent middle class, perhaps upper middle class income on YouTube, doing stuff that I'm like excited about, that's creative, and that's helpful to other people.
Well, I love that the first thing that you said was make a living.
Yeah, it really is. Because it's fun. That probably wasn't the goal 4 years ago, but that's definitely the goal now.
Make a living. Why YouTube? Why do you think that YouTube is going to help you achieve your goal in a way that no other option? It doesn't even have to be a platform, but like even in real life offline, I mean, like,
right.
Yeah.
It's tricky because I mean, for me, like I've always been a video person, so YouTube just makes sense because that's what I like. And I know there's a lot more video options now, but I like longer form video. I like the control. I think it was Ricky who was talking about like everything that YouTube offers that just other platforms don't. It's just not the same. So for me, that just works. I feel like I get to be in the most control overall, and there are the most, like, the fact that you can create a library of content that exists in perpetuity is pretty unique, you know, because you could get a viral video on TikTok or something, but nobody's going to find that in 3 weeks. Whereas, you know, YouTube videos from years ago can suddenly show up and keep your channel going. And
yeah.
That is pretty unique to YouTube.
Okay. Let's see. So I'd like to hear your perspective, say, from being a YouTube creator like 2 or 3 years ago, and then also your perspective now. What are things that were holding you back or are holding you back from, you know, getting to the next level on YouTube?
The biggest thing that held me back at the beginning was the fear of like being strategic with my channel and monetizing it. I thought would compromise like the integrity or the authenticity of it. I thought that if I was trying to build up revenue or I was trying to grow the channel, that the fact I was trying would like ruin it, and so I couldn't do that. And as much as I understand where I was coming from with that, and I don't disagree with like the foundation of those thoughts, it really did hold me back, because if I realized like it's not an evil thing to like earn revenue from a YouTube channel, or it's not you know, it's you can do that with your integrity intact. If I'd realized that sooner, it probably, you know, I think I spent 1.5 years figuring that part out, which is fine. It's part of the journey, and then it helped me kind of navigate it in my own way now, which is great. And now I think the thing that I'm currently struggling with is like the amount of stuff to make, because I have more time to dedicate to YouTube, so I can do 2 videos a week, and if I wanted to, or more live streams or whatever. But analytically, everything performs worse when I put more effort into it and do more, which is a real bummer. but it's strange. So I don't know. Like, okay, fine. If things do better with me doing less work, I guess that's okay. But I actually like doing this stuff, so I kind of want to do more of it. But I do more of it, and then it doesn't. So anyway, I'm figuring that whole thing out. But that's
okay.
It.
Let's see. What have you done throughout your journey to help you navigate the world of YouTube and to help you be a better YouTube creator?
I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube. I know it's sort of a popular thing. Sometimes you hear people say, like, I never watch YouTube. I just do this. I watch, like, tons of YouTube. And I think that really helps. Not because you're trying to, like, see what other people are doing and copying and that sort of thing, but you just, it's like you're part of the community. You're not just putting out videos in a niche, but you're part of that community. You're engaged with it. That's kind of like everyone I see in the chat here. You see them like
in other streams.
It's both things. Like, here's where I'm a creator, but here's where I'm a fan, and it's a viewer or whatever. And it's like, I like that double-sided dynamic. So I do that a lot because that also just helps you figure out, like, I think I have a good intuition for when there's like fatigue. I'm terrible at figuring out trends. So like if something's trendy, I'll never catch on to it. But I'm pretty good at judging when I feel like, I think people are getting tired of this. And then I can just consciously go, okay, don't go into that because there seems to be fatigue setting in. Focus on something else. Go find whatever else it is. And then it seems like afterwards, that trend or whatever just starts crashing down.
Is there, aside from watching YouTube, was there anything that you actually like spent money on?
Luckily, no, because we live together. So, actually, no, that's not true. I did do a video creators consultation or channel review a couple years ago.
That's Tim Schmoyer's?
Yeah. That was like before we had any of our stuff up, and that was when I was like, okay, I'm going to be strategic with my channel. That was,
So what was
cool.
your mindset around, like, I'm ready to spend money to help me figure this out?
It was like this thing where I started realizing that the effort I was putting into making my videos and my channel was valuable. It was time, it was energy, it was money. And as fun as it can be to just go like, I'm going to do this and whatever happens, happens. In a way, I almost felt that it was like disrespectful to myself to put all this energy into something and then not spend the extra little effort, like burn the extra calorie to do something extra to
like
help
invest,
it achieve
right.
or succeed, I should say. And so I was like, okay, now like, let me get an objective outside point of view that doesn't know anything about me or the channel. What are they going to think? What are they going to suggest? What, am I on the right track? Am I off the right track?
Yeah.
No.
Could you give us some insight as to why you picked video creators?
I think it was,
you shop around?
No, totally not. Here's exactly what happened. I was driving home from a school event a couple years ago that was like hours away, and I searched up YouTube podcasts, and Tim's podcast popped up. This was maybe like 3 years ago, and I was like, oh cool, it's a podcast, I can listen all about YouTube. And I just listened to some episodes, and then they just constantly are like, they're just always advertising their thing, and then I was like, hey, I should book a thing. So it totally worked on me. That was it. I didn't even look anywhere else.
Okay, cool. Let's see. So did you do any Google searches about YouTube stuff?
No, I really didn't. And you can tell if you go to my channel and you sort by oldest, it's like, what's happening here? My first video is how to get your drone license, which is a very like useful, purposeful, well-constructed video. My second video is 2 minutes about the Apple Pencil. I think my third and fourth video are just random, quiet, 2-minute drone montages in the desert. And there's like something about 3D printing. It was like
fine.
Half experimental, half Google Drive.
Let's see. And then what is keeping you up at night right now when it comes to YouTube? What do you think is like missing? What's the thing that you're working on? If you can kind of package your, a solution to fix your problem, like what would that look like?
I don't know if this answers the question or not, but I've always, this whole time I've been of the mindset that like if you just do your thing and you do a good job at it, eventually like things will pick up and do well.
Okay.
However, in the past few months, like I think you can track it. I don't have, receipts to prove this, but there clearly has been like algorithmic changes on YouTube because not just my numbers are all over the place, but like everybody I know numbers are all over the place, and things are shifting in this weird way where it's like, even to the point where YouTube's becoming aggressive with deleting channels like preemptively that have not violated anything, but it's like something has shifted, and it's like now you're not just battling yourself and whatever. You kind of do have to battle the platform a little bit, and I've always hated that feeling, but it seems like that's the case more. And so I don't have the confidence that I used to have of like, I'll just keep doing my thing and everything will be okay, because it's kind of not right now. And I'm just hoping it will get better, but I don't know. It to me, it doesn't make any sense. There's like, and that's really bothering me. And I feel like YouTube as a platform really does, and I have no idea what the incentive would be to do this, but need to value creators as the people who are creating the content that they can slap their ads on, which earns the revenue, versus just content factories of like, you're a person like that squeeze out all the like content we can get from you. Okay, you're done. Like, next one. And that seems to be kind of what it has shifted to, and it's really frustrating to me because I feel like I'm going on longer than I expected.
Tell them how you really feel.
I feel like the development teams and the like PR creator teams like never talk to each other, because you'll go into YouTube Studio and be a message like, take a break, we'll be here when you get back, put your health first. And then the analytics are like, if your video doesn't do amazingly well in 24 hours, we're gonna kill it. And it's like, how can I leave it? Like,
yeah,
like YouTube's recommendations, which I've heard from multiple people with over 100,000 subscribers, are to check your analytics once a month.
I never check my analytics. So.
Okay, you're probably the exception. I don't know anyone who does that. I also, at this point, feel like that would be dangerous to do, because who knows what's going to happen. And are you really going to put out a video and not check the analytics for a month? Also, what if your channel dies or gets taken down or gets hacked and you just don't realize it for a month? Like, no. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the platform is so schizophrenic in terms of like, this side and this side are saying two opposite things, and you're like, I just want to make videos that are good and helpful. So if you could help me by not destroying this thing I'm making, that would be great.
What is the thing that you have in your YouTube process right now that's like your sidekick, the thing that you can rely on that kind of helps you on this journey?
I mean, there's like all the obvious answers, like gear and stuff. I mean, I don't, it's all like my studio. I'll say that. That's like a character at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say that, which encompasses everything, all the gear and all the software and all the things. But like having a space, I guess I should say, where I don't have to like, I need to make a video, better set up a light, better set up my audio, better set up my camera. But having a space where it's like, I need to record something, click, 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 click. Okay, here we go. And then I can modify it as needed. That's really helpful.
All right.
Cool.
I think that's it.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye. Do I just leave or?
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. I'm going to close up the stream, but I have some closing points to make. All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you, babe. Well, that was really helpful. So how many interviews did we do? We did 5. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We did 6. Wow, that's awesome. Okay. So let me close this out with a few things. First of all, my primary intention was for you to use this as a case example so that when you go do your own interviews of your ideal community members or your ideal audience or your target audience or your ideal customers, all of those things, because I can't harp on that enough. I really think that you need to get a better understanding of your audience always. Like, I think that's always helpful. So I hope that this was helpful to show you that, because even like 2 weeks ago, I'm doing the Mighty Networks thing right now, and I was in their masterclass for people who run communities on the community or on Mighty Networks, and they were like, "Yeah, you have to interview your ideal community member." And like, I have the feeling of like, oh, I so don't want to do that, like for whatever reason, and I think there's an intimidation. There's like it's something that like is so like you don't know it's so like open-ended. Like, what is that gonna look like? What are you gonna get out of that? But I'm so glad I did it. And I'll tell you, I will continue this conversation offline with some people that were not able to be on this stream, and just like people that I think are also good representatives of people that I want to personally serve. So I hope that this was helpful, and you can use kind of the same questions, but just like tailor it to your your niche or your passion or whatever it is that you're creating content about, or whatever it is that you're building a service or product around. The other thing I will say is, now that I've done those interviews, sometimes it is about asking why multiple times, because like I think when you initially, and this is just kind of like interview tips 101, not for a podcast, but more of like to get the data right, to when we're talking about like how do we really understand our customer. I think when you ask a question initially, I think most people have a gut instinct reaction, but then if you ask them to follow up, there's always something else to uncover that they don't even realize that they were gonna say. And I think that's kind of this is why a survey just doesn't work. Like a Google form can only go so far, because you need to be there kind of reading the person and understanding like, oh, this is totally a follow-up thing, right? And then that can give you more insight in terms of like the real intimidations, fears, motivations, what makes people make a decision or not make a decision. That's the kind of stuff that I think that would really help you and benefit you in terms of like crafting a product or service, right? It's really understanding like motivation, really, and intention, and like what people have tried and what they haven't tried. Of course, all that data, all that research is like so helpful. So I hope you found that helpful. And if you do end up like, interviewing your community people because of this, please reach out. I'd love to I'd love to hear what you guys are working on. You know what I mean? So let me jump into the into the comments just a little bit. I know there's a lot that I missed out on, so I actually don't want to go too far. I promise I read all the comments after this. Let's see. And then while you guys are here, before you leave, don't forget, tune in next Tuesday for my guest Marie Poulin, who is like the Notion master on YouTube, who's built a whole business around helping people figure out this app called Notion. Awesome app. But it's like, she's a perfect passion comedy business model person. And then also the CEO of Mighty Networks, Gina Bianchini, is going to be my guest on 2 weeks from now. So definitely check that out. So excited for them. Let's see. I just want to give a shout out to everyone who jumped on stream today. I really appreciate, it's hard for me to have the like YouTube coach hat, business hat, like podcast host. But what I will say, aside from, okay, use this data and use this as an example to help you with your business thing. As a YouTube coach, I do want to tell you, I think multiple people said it on stream, definitely be involved in the creator community. I think that networking, when I think back to some of the answers that people gave today, I think, like even with Tom, I think a lot of what he's struggling with can be not solved, but I think the only thing that's really going to help in that situation is like talking to other creators who are in that same struggle, because obviously he's not going to be able, well, I don't know, YouTube, if you're listening, hit up Tom. But if that doesn't happen, I think it's talking to other people who are struggling with that same thing. So I think networking is such a big part of, any endeavor. You can't do it alone. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Hey, Doc, what's up? Let's see. Don't you need views, subs to care about such things? Well, analytics came up a lot during this interview stuff, so that's actually, because I'm not kidding. I don't check analytics. I only open up the YouTube Studio app to respond to comments. Like, I swear to God, if you were to ask me how many subscribers I have, I couldn't tell you. Even if you said, like, okay, if you told me if you could tell me how many subscribers you have and I'll give you $1 million, I still wouldn't be able to do it. Yeah, I don't, I mean, I can do, like, I think of like a 3,000 something because, you know, I see when I share the stream, but I don't know what it is. I don't check that number. But I will say on that specific issue, you know, Tom is the hybrid, right? So I think he's at a level where he has a much larger YouTube audience, and so a lot of the way that he monetizes is different from the way that I monetize. So he, you know, his financial success depends on the numbers a lot more. So I can see why it's very important to him. Whereas for me, you know, that's why this podcast is called From 1 to 100, because I'm not trying to get to, like, you know, crazy numbers. Okay, here we go. All right. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Interview pro tip from Doc Rock. Ask the question and shut up. Don't lead with examples of the answer you want to hear. Yes, this is perfect, and especially if you're trying to get data, right? So if you're doing like focus group interview kind of data, I think the way that I approach interviews for like a live stream or a podcast are going to be different from like, I'm interviewing you because I want to get data. Like, you can't react to the data because it's not, like, the data is the data, right? You can analyze it after, but you really need people to present you the data in like a way that's like completely not influenced by anything, including yourself. So, but I think that comes with practice. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Thinking about it now, I find I understand my customer by pretending I am a customer of myself, then extract why I am there, why I vibe with it, why I give this person my time. That's a good one. Let's see. Just Plain Bearded. I think I might interview my community for my next video. That's great. That's awesome. I would love to check it out. Please send it my way. Let's see. If you want to reach out to me, Just Plain Bearded, just reach out through social. That's like specifically Instagram. Just send me a DM. I promise I will respond to you. So let's see. I'm going to start interviewing people in the ASMR community. Good idea. Yeah, and actually, I would love to hear what insights you get out of that. Recovery junkies, loved hearing all the interviews and the different perspectives were great to hear. Appreciate everyone's vulnerability as well with what they are struggling with. Yes. Let's see. Jonah, I am like, this is weird. I'm like a big fan. Like, because I haven't talked to you, but obviously I talk to Ricky all the time. But because I like just watch you, I'm like, oh, I'm like such a fan of you. Coming from Filmtopia and learning about all these awesome creators while lurking is a ton of amazing information for me, as I'm on the fence about starting a channel for myself and being consistent. Yep. Let's see. Thanks, David. He says he's going to be part of Replay Squad. Yeah, and feel free to, when I do the replays, I actually just pop the audio podcast and then go clean something and then just put that thing on 1.5x. So I won't be offended if you do that. Let's see. Dr. Sev, I'm not as concerned about the number of subs as I am with which videos pull views and where the views come from. Is there a certain style or topic that gets the most views? Yes. I mean, this is kind of what I wanted to get data on, because I think what Tom and I are trying to do is really provide a solution. You know, obviously, we want to provide a solution to people who are on their YouTube journeys that like is different from everybody else's solution. And I think that there is room for a different approach to it. And I think a lot of it is network based, right? Is not even network based, but community based. If you're part of the YouTube Huddle Up, you've seen a glimmer of our vision. And I think that this stuff, like, you know, I'm not as concerned about the number of subs as I am with which videos pull views. we can talk about analytics, but I think a lot of it is like connecting with other people that are doing something similar to you. You know, it's the same with Tom. Like, I think that because YouTube changes all the time, by the time someone makes a video about YouTube trends or YouTube algorithm 2021, like, you know, it's going to change tomorrow. So it's the real time, not advice, but experience, stories, and insight from people who are living through the thing that you are going through right now. That's what we're trying to build. That's the vision for it. In terms of structure and what that looks like, that's what I'm trying to refine, which is why I did these interviews. So again, thanks, special shout out to everyone who jumped on stream. And of course, thank you to you guys who tune in every single week. And if you were here, because it's like constant data that you're providing me, so I really appreciate it. And if you are new here, Tom and I have our live stream podcast on Thursdays over on my vlog channel, HeatherJustCreate, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we talk. It's basically our life and business as full-time content creators. And then on Friday, I have the YouTube Huddle up here, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we huddle up and talk about working on your YouTube channels. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining me. And I really appreciate it. Feel free to reach out, and I'll talk to you soon, guys. Have a wonderful week, and good luck with everything that you're working on. Talk to you soon. Bye, everyone. Bye. Where's my outro? Okay, bye.